Hey, what's up, everybody? It's 222's once again. Hope everybody's been well. We just wanted to come back in right before Holy Day and give special thanks and honors to everybody that tuned into the last one and all of the love that video got. Please continue to share, subscribe, check your notifications, because maybe maybe with their little shenanigans in the digital verse. So definitely want to give honors and thanks to all of the supporters that we've had over the years that continue to support the things that we do, and the overall message of unity, uplifting fallen humanity. The basic things that we as good men, meaning men and women, that are here to help as much as we can, as well as maintaining our own individual families. And that's where a lot of people find themselves right now, especially with all of the crazy stuff that's popping off since allegedly 2024 has popped off, because it's not even really that, for us at least. There's different calendars, different things like that around, and people are literally in different time spheres, different time zones.
So I'm gonna share it again. Yep.
So ultimately, you definitely want to, instead of always focusing on what you are doing or what somebody else is doing in their country or whatever, now is the time is coming where people got to really start to look at their own and what's happening in their own home, their own countries, their own counties, their own communities, and things like that, instead of always kind of worry about what the Ukrainians doing, with with these other people who we don't even really know what they look like. You only know what you see on TV, and you can't really trust anything on that, especially with the mainstream stuff, which is why they striving so hard to get into the whole YouTuber type game, because they see that they don't have any influence in the mainstream media anymore. People don't believe it. People don't trust anything. You can't. If you want a good movie review, you can't trust Rotten Tomatoes. Like, you can't trust none of these sites, these apps, these things, because a lot of them is just straight. They be straight lying, and they're not gonna stop, and they're not gonna admit that they're doing it. So it's like, unless you gotta literally go out and get your news and your information yourself. And if you're the type of person who is not really used to that, you're gonna fall victim to it. You know what I mean?
You want to talk about Cat? What we just watched?
Oh man, yeah. Well, he been talking the same stuff we've been talking since we've been talking it. And it's just funny. It just feels good now to sit and watch people having to hear the stuff that we was talking about when it wasn't popular to be smart. It wasn't popular to it's still kind of not, but it went through a phase where they wanted to act like it was, but where it wasn't cool to talk about these types of things, because people was trying to get money with these people. And yeah, they still are. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's
how it really reminded me of the conscious community. How, like, back in the day, especially like the Bobby Hemmett days, even that rumor of him passing away and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, that was
unless you at the brother's funeral, unless his wife make an announcement, like, hype like that is crazy. Camera one. Camera two, what I really appreciate about the Cat Williams jump off was just the level of truth, and the level of lack of fear, and just expressing how he feel about stuff. Because a couple years ago, like 10 years ago, a lot of stuff took place in the conscious community, and I really saw how certain little cliques and groups and little debate groups really went to the top on some. If you're not debating, if you're not doing this, that, then you're not for the people. If you're not working with these people, then you're not for the people. And it's like, how can somebody with intellectual property always feel as though they got to prove what they know, or talk to people that don't know as much as them about, and what I mean that don't know as much as them, what I mean is that certain people really wanted to act like they wrote 80 books and 33 books and They, because they get mad numbers and 100,000 views. Like, yo, you work with the same 4 people, and y'all all have a clickety click, and if you're not part of that clickety click, then it's like they don't even talk about you. Like, for years, I would tell Aseer, like, it's real interesting, cats that were in my crib, you know what I'm saying? You only feed, skullduggery once. Then you find out cats is literally trying to copy not only your style, but your intellect, or speak verbatim on what I've heard my husband talk about. And, it's nice to love someone and to be like, word, I want to do what he does. But when you don't give credit to the original, it's corny. It's called biting.
That's what it used to be called.
It's called biting. Basically, you bite somebody's whole swag and style, and because you studied them long enough, or figured out, let me kind of talk about this, that, and the third, and you have a group of people that will put you in front of the camera and like almost like hype y'all up to be more than you are. I'm not saying that, hey, not everybody can win at doing lectures and talk about metaphysics, but when you don't live that lifestyle and it literally becomes a gimmick for you on how to get girls, on how to make money, on how to be the most popular, what I notice is that they don't even speak of my husband's name no more. There's certain people in the conscious community that won't even talk or mention or include this brother in their little fake award shows, and it could be hurtful. But then you're like, yo, look at these people. Look at the level of intellect that they think they have acquired because they've watched certain rhetoric on camera. And, years later, I'm just grateful that he never, and, supporting somebody and saying, don't ever do debates. Don't ever be around folk that are going to want you to have to prove, because it lowers the level of all the work you put into what you're doing. It's like, I don't need to work with people like that in order to feel relevant. And I'm real proud of you that you didn't take them L's, because a lot of it was like losing money, losing opportunities, and just watching a whole bunch of,
It's like what Kat said, like you got to say no more than you say yes, because when you say yes to one thing, it's like you don't really know, like you don't know that at first, that you're dealing with people who dealing with other people, who dealing with other people, who dealing with other people that have an agenda. And thus it trickles down to the person you're talking with, and they may not even be aware of the full agenda that's being presented to you through them. However, it's not for them to know. That's why they're in a position to offer you certain things in certain ways, that way to see how you're going to take it from them. So they'll always use somebody like you or somebody to engender you to do something. Like in the mob stories, it's always the best friend that kills the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, because most people are married to the game, not the name. They not really caught up in you as much as you may think they are. They're really not. They are looking at you as a means to look like, get money, or to seem better by doing something to you to defame you or put you in that position, because most of these people come from extraneous circumstances, trauma-based families, jail, a lot of these circumstances, because they wanted to make the Malcolm X archetype, the intellectual brother that happened to, at one time be a pimp, and now he's, leading a nation, like this whole archetype that they strive to constantly engender you or mold you without you really seeing that, and then using buzzwords, you know what I mean, that was given to them by like Marxist communists, you know what I'm saying, who are really just nihilistic anarchists, you know what I mean, who really just don't care about anything. They just have been given everything to such a degree that they believe that they have the right to say, who could live, who could die. So this is usually the mentality that people who don't want to deal with people like that, however want to give their art to the world, always have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And watching him, Cat Williams, that is, talking about certain situations that we literally discussed, like his documentation, like the videotapes before there was no digital, none of this, of me you know what I mean, as well as others, you know, putting this out there. Like as much as people like Roland Martin want to act like the bootleg, for instance, don't exist. Like if it wasn't for Steve Coakley, we wouldn't even know what that was, for real, for real. And not only did Steve Coakley was such a heavy journalist, for instance, peace be upon him. However, he not only brought us the bootleg, he brought us the annual meetings. He brought us the playbills, the books, like all of, you know what I'm saying, like the secret, like the list of the names, like this thing. He was really on their ass, and you know, I feel like they took him out. You know what I'm saying? The proverbial they, because they were threatened by the fact that now we knew for beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's a clandestine group of people who are melanated that look like us, that's born here, but is part of a multinational coalition of ancient niggas to keep us all at odds with one another. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at it now on an institutional level, maybe this is why they always use British actors to play American roles, specifically those where the Americans got to look like, you know, savage animals and shit like that. Like, there's a reason why all of the publishing now or then was being purchased and used by certain people who control these industries from World War II, from when these industries weren't even seen as viable, legitimate industry. Like, people forget the record label, the record or music industry was like ran by the mob. You know what I'm saying? It still is. You know what I'm saying? It's just different mobs take over at different times, and so just like and that was synonymous with the pornography industry, which is synonymous with the bootlegging and prostitution. So this is why that's so pervasive in that arena, because there's so many. It was based on pornography. It was based on, like, Hollywood, California was based on Hollywood, Florida, because that's where it started, and that's where they manipulated and moved a lot of the sex slaves that they were making, the stag movies. That's what they used to call them, the stag movies and shit like that, and was trafficking these girls, and then they needed something to do with them, so they started to make movies, and then the rest is history. So this is the problem now, that it has made such an impact that at the same time, like, look at that, at the same time the thing happens with this dude, Epstein, the list come out, is the same time that
oh, look at that.
oh yeah, it's like a whole thing. The same time Epstein list come out is the same night, same day that this thing happens with, you know, Cat Williams. And I'm not even saying that he timed it that way. I'm just saying that the powers that be understand how much impact we as people gather to the world, and they know that they choose to come out. So if they have a choice as to what troopers they'd rather deal with, they'd rather deal with the back and forth, backbiting nigga truth, you know what I mean? Instead of dealing with the fact that, yeah, Bill Clinton was on the list. Like, these dudes was on the list. Like, and now how they freak it is you actually gotta read it. You gotta go through the transcript to really pick out all of the names and read what's happening and read what these witnesses and these young women have gone through. Yet there's no surviving Ghislaine Maxwell. There's no surviving, you know, Epstein, but there's gonna be a surviving Diddy. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be they're gonna do that because they need the visage to always be somebody melanated, so it looks like the indigenous people are somehow agreeing to do this to themselves, and look how depraved and sick they are, when really they're just reaching the end, or let's say we're just reaching the end of a cycle of lies that has now created such a blowback situation that nothing that they do matters. That they'll actually lock people. They could lock this dude up, and people are still gonna vote for him, and they would have to lock him, take him out of the jail. Like, this is the level that they've gone to, because they've also created the rules. So, watching him, Cat, for instance, do what he did, was just like watching, like I said, Coakley doing what he did. You know what I mean? Or Bobby.
And these are all people that aren't part of the Freemasonic Brotherhood.
Yeah, they tend to have that in common. I hope so. I mean, I don't know for sure. I don't think Bobby ever was, but he did say that he was, you know, he basically did everything. So I'm sure at one point he knew certain things, or well, I'm not even speculating. What I'm saying is I don't know for sure, but I do know in the ultimate result, there were people who were not down with that shit, and the people that weren't down with that shit are the ones that was speaking the most about it. Whereas everybody that wasn't really talking about it was down with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's really the goal.
In terms of watching Cat, I noticed that he was literally talking about a cabal, or a certain group of people.
What it is.
And their little consortium, their little group.
That's what it is.
And I was like, okay, that little group, what he's expressing as well is that he's not a part of that Freemasonic group, that cabal.
Right.
And again, what I was thinking of in terms of the conscious community, that little group, that little cabal is something that needed to exist in order to give them all more clout, more power, more whatever that they felt that they needed.
Make them feel they justified in what they're doing.
And also maybe align themselves with something to hopefully attract those opportunities that he was talking about, getting offered certain amounts of money and all these things. Like one thing that I did, and this is not to thing anybody that has been incarcerated, but I noticed that a lot of the brothers, the new brothers in the conscious community, it's like that was the blueprint on what you needed to, it's like you got the blueprint on how to be a dope rapper. It's like, well, you got to get shot, you got to go, you got to sell drugs, same thing with the conscious community, or the new conscious community. Like all the brothers, they all have a story on how they all was in prison. They all have a story how they got enlightened in prison, and how it's like, how can the same story exist for 6 to 8 different individuals?
Like it worked for Malcolm, you know what I'm saying? And then to the point he became Haj Malik Shabazz, you know what I'm saying? However, not everybody's not Malcolm. Everybody's not in that vein, and we can't keep going back to that same well to, you know what I mean, tell the story of the next great, so-called black revolutionary, because it never was real in the first place. Like,
and not everybody has to go through that in order to read.
For you to trust them, because they have the idea. And what they've done is they've solidified in the past 30 years. I would really say from the time Billy Clinton was running them drugs out of Arizona, where they had to blow up that building and all of that, from then. But you could take it from before that. But I would say from the time that rap switched to commercialism is when you get this influx now of heavy agenda. Because it went from a counterculture, we're not selling out, F the Grammys, we supposed to have our own category, to them saying, it goes to them saying, no, to the point you were about to beat down the door, then they just open the door and be like, yes. Then they just give you everything, and then you just in it now, and because you was excluded for so long, now you in, and then boom, you're doing what you're doing, and now you get to a point where one day you realize now you're a part of this system now. So you gotta work to maintain it like everybody else if you want to maintain this level within that system. And that's what happens. They just give niggas jobs, and then once they get the niggas the jobs, the niggas is like, well, I'm a gatekeep to keep other niggas from messing up what I got. Like, that's how they work. That's why all of these so-called city girl mayors, this chick, this chick, they got a black, so-called black female diversity hire that was running Harvard, who's also a feminist Marxist, also a so-called anti-Semite. You know how that go with them, and who I think is a lesbian. Don't quote me, but then her name is gay. So it's like they really just worked the diversity 8-ball to be able to get this chick in there. And this chick, all she did while she was there was take other people's work, put it in her work, and pass it off like it's her work. And then when it came time,
Plagiarized is what you said.
yeah, she basically plagiarized her whole session. But she was never really, she wasn't chosen for her merit, for her acumen, her academia acumen in the first place. She was chosen specifically because she fit EI and ESG stats that they need to help fund a new world society, because they want that to be the check boxes of how the new societies are going to be run. And so everybody that's not with that is somehow against humanity. You know what I'm saying? So this is the problem with that. So they get to the point where they put all of these types of chicks in thing, because you know they've been telling you for the past 30 years that women are better, black women are smarter, they got more money, they better than you, they need to date up, they need to do this, right? And so now you got all of these educated stupid chicks running these multi-million-dollar corporations literally into the ground. And it's not just the black ones, it's the Caucasian ones too. You got the chick that's running Disney, you got the chick that was running Bud Light, you got the chick that was running, like they're literally running decades properties into the ground. Like literally they make no money. And you can see on the graph, it was like money, 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 money. They get the job done. It's just always done. So now you've got like a huge section of the population being purposely destroyed by groups of secret cabals of mad, crazy, Marxist, feminist, communists, right? Who are really just mad that they never got the love of their life, but now, you know, they crazy cat ladies and shit. And these are the chicks that's doing the administrative work to make these types of things happen, which then messes it up now for that real melanated male or female that actually studied for the job, that actually really went all out and really had a divine and earnest fervor within them to be able to do whatever job they're applying for. And now they're gonna look at you like, oh, no, we can't even take the chance because look at what y'all did. And that's the point. And that's what always happens. So again, watching somebody like Kat call these niggas out and then seeing the parallels between that and, like I said, the conscious, like Celina said, the conscious so-called community and the things that we were talking about as it was happening over the years on the Blog Talk radio shows and the little interviews and stuff that we would do periodically during that time. But what I mostly did was stay away from a lot of the excessive drama that at times was being solely put out there for people like me to take the bait and then engage in, you know, the circumstance that they're trying to create against Moors against the Hebrews, or Moors against the Aboriginals, or Moors against the Nation of Islam, or Moors versus, it's always that. So once I kept seeing it like verses, right, and then one day seeing the actual verses now with the music, I'm like, wow, this is ultimately what they was trying to do with the conscious community thing. They was trying to literally segment that into battle rap, because I also noticed after a while, a lot of battle rap people being brought into the conscious community situation, and then a lot of people who were of that ilk really studying certain people and then basically now turning their platforms into that type of situation where now they're asking questions or they're creating content around certain consciousness and shit like that. And it's like, that's not really what you came in here doing. Like, you're not really into this stuff. Because if you was, you would have been into it when we was into it. Like, there's a certain element of reality that is missing, that everybody wants back. And that aspect of reality is based in real reality. Like, what can you really do? How talented are you really? Or are you not? And if you're not, you must be doing something else to maintain your position if your position is not relative to what it is that you're contributing to this overall endeavor, especially if you're running it into the ground. And every industry that has engaged in this WEF, Klaus Schwab backed programs, you understand, that are really just there to destroy and kill humanity. So until people realize that this is what's happening, that what you see them doing is what is actually happening, and that they don't have the right to do any of it. Every other week, the Supreme Court is putting out something to tell people that they can't take their guns, that telling these state governments, these blue state governments, they can't take their guns. Like, every week, it's a new video on somebody saying how they trying to do this, even though the Supreme Court said this or said that. So it's only going to get to a certain point where We're gonna have white people start talking about liberty and you know what I'm saying, and freedom. When they start really talking that, they telling you something, like they not gonna go quietly into the wind, like into the night. They not gonna do it. And you can come out with as many movies, Civil War, whatever you want to do. It's not gonna be as easy as y'all niggas think it is. You could bring a million of these foreigners and these immigrants and stuff in here. These people is more good people in the country, in the world. There's more good people in the world than negative people. If we was to really do a percentile of everybody in the world, I bet you the evil would be like less than 0.1% of the total percentile of people in the world. It would be like a consorted group of them, just like it is now. But they use the media, and the media is like the weather. What they said in Natural Born Killers, they said the media is like the weather, but it's man-made. So they can forecast and create all of that. So when they be putting these movies and these things out here about the Civil War and all of the state capitals that got bomb threats and all of that, that's them doing it. That's the Democratic Party specifically. Well, let's not take it specifically them. Let's say it's the Uniparty, right? These are the career bureaucrats. These are the people who can't really be fired. I mean, I'm talking about the congressmen. We're talking about the people who's been working the levers and you know what I mean, making sure the rituals go down at the right time. These types of niggas. These are in ancient Egyptian times, these would be the high priest cults of the moon cults. And now the sun cults is now taking over, and they can't do no more sacrifices and shit to the moon at night no more. All of the rituals gotta be in the day, under the sun. Like, they not trained for that. So that's a whole segment of people out of work. So them people gotta have something, right? So this is where the secret cabal shit comes in. This is where they come in at. This is where they get together. Look, people don't have to be a part of a group. They don't have to go to a meeting to say, hey, this is what we're gonna do, this, and that. When different individual endeavors and circumstances align, right? Then it goes down. They're gonna make it happen. So they don't have to say, oh, we're gonna somebody should get rid of JFK. It started like that. So you know what I'm saying? It started with like somebody really needs to shut him up. Like, and then it just starts to snowball. This nigga who's the head of the Department of Defense heard that. Then he say that to somebody in CIA who's upset and scared that he going to shatter it to 1,000 pieces. This shit he said he was going to do. But that's the problem. Don't be telling these people what you're going to do before you do it. Don't be talking over, especially when they're helping you get your hoes in and out of the White House. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you going to try to break up CIA and they the ones programming Maryland for you, nigga? That's why she not blowing up your phone and all of that when Jackie O in the house and all that. They got her on the schedule. They MK'd that bitch for this dude. So you can't go have them do that for you and then saying, oh, well, I don't like what they did with, Bad Pigs and all that, so I'm going to smash it up. They looking at you like you crazy. Like, how you down for this but not down for that? When you say you down for it, you down for the whole thing. That's how they look at it. So because they made you do a little ritual where you acted like you was down, you got killed in a murder, because that's what all Freemasonic rituals start with. To enter the apprentice degree, you got to act like Hiram. You got to let them kill you. You got to let them put you in the valley of the dry bones. You got to let them put the sword to your breast. You got to let them do all of this shit. So again, you just another nigga brought into the machine of niggas that have been going through this since before King James. These niggas just constantly trying to create a whole new way, you know what I'm saying, to wet a wheel, you know what I'm saying? And there's no way around it. Like, you're a part of it now. So now that you're a part of it, you can't be not against it. You can't be against it. And that's what it is. That's why you shouldn't do it. Because in the end, anything you want to really know about it, you could go to Barnes & Nobles and get a book on the stuff. And read it and know what they do, know the grips and all that. So that way when you shake their hands and stuff, they know. But the real ones, the dedicated ones, you see, that's in it. Like I said, these are the bureaucrats. These are the niggas that's in there working the times for the rituals, sleeping with the brother's wife, like doing the little boy bride rituals and all that. This is these niggas. This is the core that the good ones, even if they didn't like it, they're not doing nothing to stop them. So all of y'all, it fall on all of y'all. Because in the end, nobody had to do it. Y'all all agreed that this is how y'all was going to do it. So we could be the kings of comedy, you know what I'm saying? But Bernie getting too much light. Then Bernie gone. Then what? Then now, who blowing up? Who got shows? Who got shows? Who got specials?
The Husbands of Hollywood, with the Real Husbands of Hollywood. And I watched that the other day. Just, as I make products and stuff, just trying to put someone on the background. I said, wow, all the women in this show look alike. They all light skinned.
Yeah.
They all look half Asian, half Taiwanese, half Puerto Rican, half. To the point that 3 of the wives look like like sisters, because they all look the same. So it was so refreshing to hear Kat be like, yo, they all have women that look the same. It's the same thing I said to Aseer a while ago. A while ago, somebody said, make sure you don't bring sand to the beach. Like, talking about don't bring your dark-skinned wife to this event. Mm-hmm. And, when you are brown skin, it's not to say that there wasn't a trickle 1 or 2 in the Real Husbands of Hollywood show, but they weren't main characters. All the main characters, from Boris Kodjoe's girlfriend to Kevin Hart's, they all are, and that's not a happenstance.
No.
It's like, how is every woman that's being cast look like this archetype?
Why they all beige? Because that's what they want. They want a whole race of beige people. And
that's not
they
to
don't
hate
want
on people that fall in love with people that are very light skinned. It's just to say, when you see more than 1 or 3 or 5 in a show that are all the main characters, it just, for somebody like me, if I had a daughter, you have to be very careful in having, because it's like, well, I can't be the main actress. I could be the main actress's friend, but I
magical
can't.
Negro, yeah.
But I can't be a main character unless I'm aligned with a white man, or I'm, unfortunately,
unless you in the club, unless you one of the boys.
Or I've seen black women cast, but they're always
they gotta be lesbians. They gotta be light skinned. They gotta be light skinned.
But if they're not, I was expressing that they usually are with a woman. They're not with a man.
Or they gotta be lesbians. Yes.
Right. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
and
that's just what
it
they gotta
sells
be.
an agenda. I'm not downing anybody that is a lesbian. None of that. It's just to say, when you see dark-skinned women in any major role now, most of them are either lesbians,
or they with a white man,
or they're with somebody that's of Caucasian descent.
Or there's something with, and then it's just them. There's no backstory, who they are, anything like that, because that's how they see these people in that. Because prior to the casting couch and all of that, these people don't exist to them. Like, the real people that are doing this wicked stuff and putting people in these positions and auditioning and doing these types of things, they don't even see these people until they appear to them. Kind of like a judge. Like, the judge don't see you until you literally appear. So prior to them meeting you, from their perspective, you understand? Look at I'm telling you, I told you, it's narcissistic nihilists, right? With compulsive disorder. If I was to diagnose it on some fake psychiatrist shit, like, they're constantly, condescendingly infatuated with whatever they're dealing with in the moment. So when you appear to them on the couch or for the audition, that's you coming to life to them. You don't have a life prior to that. Prior to them giving you the chance, giving you the shot, you don't exist to them. You understand? So once you get to that point now, that's why they say, but I made you. I put you in that, because in their warped, narcissistic, small pea-brain little minds, they believed that you literally did not exist until they did that, because their racism is beyond skin color. It's against any type of natural human, and I don't want to even use that because I mean monster, but you know what I mean, like man and woman, like a real person, because they don't look at life through a real lens of like your eyes. They look at it all from the perspective of a movie, of what they're putting together, what are the beats, what are the notes, what are the iron sights, how many minutes is this, how long is this gonna take? Like, they're very into that because that's how they control that world. So if you are entering into it, you're entering into a world where, again, you did not exist until you showed up there. So this is how Satan runs its kingdom. You dig? And so everybody that goes to that kingdom has to be a priest in something. You got to be a high priest, or you a slave, or you a devotee, shall say. You either a priest, a devotee, executioner, or a wanton, which is like a willing participant. You got to be one of those things. So if you're not a priest of the city they in, you better be a priest of being a Christian, or a priest of whatever it is, of knowledge, of science, or something that allows you to maintain a certain degree of what they say agency that would allow you to maintain yourself in that environment. Because if not, you're going to play the role, and you're going to play that part, and then that's going to be your role, that's going to be your part. And that's going to be the part you play because you're on the team. And to be a team, you got to be on the team, you got to be a team player. And sometimes you got to take one for the team, right? And this is how they do it. And it's any given Sunday. That can happen. So you got to be ready or not to either say yes or no. Because they can't force it on you. Because the ones who force it on people always eventually get thrown under the bus by them. It's not the ones who force them on you that you got to worry about. It's the nice ones. You understand? It's the ones that introduce you to those niggas. Those is the real bad ones, Oprah. Those is the real bad ones that is really running it. Those are the ones, the handlers, the social lubricant. They're the ones moving everybody around to where they need to be. You know what I mean? At this right time. Or we need to call, Pimp C need to show up here. Over all of a sudden, his wife left his Bentley out in the street somewhere. So now somebody got to go get it. Well, Pimp can't go get it because he got to be here. So I'm going to get what's his name to go get it. Pimp called his homeboy or something, said he'll do it. But then the wife was like, no, he busy. I'll do it, whatever. Which then forced Pimp to have to be a certain place. And then Pimp wasn't at that place no more. And Pimp was in no place again. However, but when we watched the interview with Homie said, I wasn't working that day. So this is what I'm saying. This is the type of shit that happens. Oh, you getting your penis sucked on the dance floor. That's great, Tupac, but you don't know this girl. It's cool. I get it. All y'all swingers. See, that's what they don't tell you in the hip hop shit. All them niggas are swingers. But some swing one way, some swing this way, some swing both ways. That's just what they do. So they'll do that. But what they not telling you is that the club was owned by Ghislaine Maxwell. The tunnel was owned by Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein, y'all know. Did y'all know that? No, we didn't know that. We didn't care. And this the same club where the nigga allegedly stabbed, Jay-Z allegedly stabbed Unant. And this the same club Trump met Melania at. And this the same club, like, with Puppy and the rest of them people we used to go to. What does that say? But now I know why when I tried to sneak into certain clubs when I was real young, Latin Quarters and the Tunnel and these places, I was like, no, you're not getting in there. No. And at the time, you in here with this hip hop. I'm in it. Like, I want to, no. Because it was something better in store. And that's the thing. If you just say yes to all of that shit in the beginning, what you got to look forward to? What you got to, nothing. So they could just throw anything. Because now it's not even about the material shit or the gain. It's just to feel something because you're so numbed. Because you got to medicate yourself. You got to constantly think because you always thinking about it. And then these people, you got to, just like with BBLs and breast implants, you got to keep doing it. What they not telling these people is that once this happened to you, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep sacrificing. You got to keep getting them swapped out every so odd years. You in a cycle now. You with them now. They got you. And you just don't want to be in that position, in any industry, because they're in every industry. And they're always doing the same thing to the same people. Epstein made his whole career off of blackmailing. He started with Les Westerner, his benefactor. Why? Because he was set up through Robert Maxwell and his daughter Jelaine, who he also had a son allegedly named Robert, named after him allegedly, but allegedly Robert died, and then all of a sudden here go, what's the name, Abramovic. So there's a conspiracy that says that they the same person. What I do know is Jelaine Maxwell's son run Robinhood. Robinhood was one of the scam investment sites that got exposed in the whole GameStop debacle. So again, that's Jelaine Maxwell again, that's Epstein again, that's Robert Maxwell again, which is Israel Mossad Intelligence again, right? And some shit that just happened like a couple months ago. What happened to all of the money Sam Bankman-Fried was given to the Democratic Party specifically? To the point he owned it, Maxine Waters. Where's that money at? What's up with that? We're not gonna know about that. Just like we're not gonna know about the 85,000 children that they just lost. You know what I'm saying? But I'm supposed to believe that this is all not related? No, it's all related because they're all related. Because if you think about it, that's the only way you could really secure the plan. Everybody got to have dirt on everybody.
Here's why I don't have no girlfriends like that. Let me tell you something. I'm just going to be mad random. Like, where'd she come up with that? But what I was thinking about was everything he's saying and me just being like, I've been at the most peace in my life since I have just let certain people go and not felt as though I needed to have girlfriends or like, you know, going on my little girls trips and all of that. You know, all these movies, it could really make you feel like I'm alone, and you're not. This is why I chill by myself and have created over 150 products that I can trust to use everywhere from head to toe, as well as sell to people, because you have to, for me, the integrity is lost in everything. And everybody, unfortunately, has dirt or wants to be friends with people that are alike. So, you know, back in the day, I thought about that, you know, just like I've had girlfriends that have been like, light-skinned girl meeting, and I'm not light-skinned. So what does that say for me? Okay, I can't go to this meeting. Or like play these dinner party games, and it's okay, everybody, you know, every girl write down how many guys they've slept with. So they're all just sitting there and I'm all fronting, writing, looking like I'm writing a whole big list. And then, you know, I come up with 2 names on my list. One which should have never been, but you know, you live and you learn. And I've definitely learned after losing my virginity to my husband, I learned very quickly that the life of whatever, being with somebody else is very short-lived if you don't want to be played, and if you don't want your business out there, and if you, sometimes you just trust the wrong energy. But how many excuses are you going to make for doing so? Or how many times, you know, sometimes thinking about girlfriends like that, it's like, I would love to have a slew of sisterhood and friends and all of that, but when I discovered talking to friends or being friends with women, that certain girlfriends of mine literally had 6 to 7 lovers, and I knew their husbands. So now we're going to Thanksgiving dinner, and we have to sit across from someone's husband who we know this woman has slept with 6 different people with. So do I tell the man? No, because that's the person he chose to be with. But now I don't feel like I could really sit there with comfort, because I know that this woman has had sex with 6 different people. And so then I'm like, well, what kind of a person am I?
While she married, though, that's the whole thing.
Right, that I'm selecting women, friends like this, or another girlfriend of mine. And if you are one of these women and listening to a story, there's been more than one. So it's not you that I'm specifically talking about. And this happened like over 10, 15 years ago. So don't be like, oh, she's talking about me. No, I know more than 3 women that have done this, where I was, you know, friends with the girl, one in particular, it's a true story. She, you know, was sleeping with her ex while she was sleeping with the guy that we knew. and she caught something from her ex. But then she was like, oh, I can't tell so-and-so that I caught something. So she basically made the new guy
Tried to gaslight him.
think that he was the one that gave it to her, and was like, yo, I don't even want to tell him that it was so-and-so. But I'm like, wow, if she has the ability to basically delude this person into thinking that he gave her the disease, what type of friend am I to A, not tell the guy, but B, also still be friends with this girl? So I just, kind of bowed out and was like, real talk, sis, you should probably tell him because it'll allow you to sleep better at night. But some of these girls don't have no dream issues, no problems with sleeping. They can do a lot of ill-ish and keep it moving.
Yep.
And that just isn't something that I could condone, and I didn't want to have a girlfriend that I knew these things about and felt like I was kind of co-signing that lifestyle. Same thing, with just being very supportive of people and very present in their lives, and then just making the conclusion that they don't send me love. They're not cool with me. Like certain females I'd introduce him to that I, went to high school or, went to college with. And I always have this rule. If I introduce you to my husband and you didn't know him before you met me, and all of a sudden you are only talking to him and not me, or only reaching out to him and not me, not only is he gonna be like, yo, you know who I heard from? You know who I heard from? I'm like, wow, it's interesting that all 5 girlfriends, and really what it says to me is these females liked him a little more. They didn't find me as interesting once I introduced them to him. But if we're not cool no more, you no longer have the right to reach out to him, to send him inspirational quotes, to talk to him at 11 o'clock at night. To call. That's dead. Don't call him no more if you don't F with me. If you don't F with me, don't call my man anymore. And that's for the slew of girls that consistently still do this. Or be like, oh, it's all right for me. I've had females call us from the hospital when they're giving birth to have my husband walk them through or talk to them about whatever they're experiencing, and they're there with their baby daddies. How must that baby daddy feel knowing that this woman is on the phone? Like that's blah, blah, that's that type of energy. Like if somebody ain't well, they might get really jealous and envious that their girl that's in labor is calling my husband. What kind of is that? But I've also been around females that were cool with me, and we went on a double date, and they're with their husbands double dating, their boyfriends double dating, and the guy reached over to me and go, I wish my girl would look at me the way she does look at your man. What? And I'm peeping game. Are they doing this to, whatever the reason is, I just realized I wasn't really attracting the type of females that I consider myself to be, which is very loyal and very, there's just certain rules you don't do. I would never call my girlfriend's boyfriend to ask him, I don't care if he was a master electrician and my lights went out. I'm not doing that. And so when I started realizing that every girlfriend that I had would break these, to me, common rules, or again, if you don't talk to me and I introduce you to him, you didn't know him before me, you no longer have the right, in my mind, to call, to text, to anything with him. And he got a lot of females that will text because this is the work he does. And I trust my man. But at the same token, when he's like, you know who reached out to me? So-and-so. You know who called me the other day? So-and-so. I'm like, how are these females even thinking it's all right to do that when they don't talk to me no more?
You're right.
That's non-cipher.
You know.
So I literally have been that chick 10 years ago to be like, yo, real talk, sis, don't reach out to my husband no more. You don't talk to me. You don't have the right to send him any inspirational videos or, oh, I was thinking about you. Don't think about him. Think about your 6 baby daddies that you had 6 daughters with. Think about your 4 boyfriends that you're currently in relationships with. Stop doing that. Stop putting men in situations to be envied or to be dealt with by dudes that might not have the same intellect, smarts, pride, self-esteem. It's hurtful. That's hurtful to be at a dinner where you're with your girlfriend and she's just all on this dude and her man right there. The man is seeing what's going on. And I'm like, wow, it ain't for me to tell him to upgrade, but it's also for me to just peep game. So years ago, right after I had my son, and one of my girlfriends dropped my child, like was holding him and then just dropped him on the floor, I was like, oh no, we not doing this no more. Or on my birthday, would invite my husband out to go dancing. I was like, yo, real talk, I'm kind of naive. Something must be going on where I'm giving off a dodo vibe because these girls is bold. They're like, oh, well, we're all friends, so, or I hang out, so now everybody in the hood thinks we all smashing because on the train, you don't have nowhere to sit, but you're going to sit on his lap, and he going to be like, yo, I'm saying, sis, not trying to be disrespectful, but get up. Hold the pole the way my woman is. I'm not even sitting on his lap, and she going to make herself, so this is why I don't really have girlfriends no more, because why attract if I'm obviously not attracting the right type of females that would even have the intellect or the sense to not be all open, a gape mouth open with their boyfriends. Like, this is not working for me anymore. This is not, I don't want my son around this. I don't want my husband around this. And he's loyal, but at the same token, I've never reached out to nobody's man to talk to them or to send them a text or you not cool with me, don't do that to him. That's
You're
the
right.
2024 rule. If you no longer talk to me, or if you want to reach out, oh, hey, I said to Aseer after his last video, I said, yo, how many females reached out to you talking about tell Celina I said hi? When they got my phone number, or they have my Facebook, whatever.
Couple.
But they don't reach out to me. And I don't take it personal. I just know it's going to happen. So if you are one of those girls, same thing. No dude ever reaches out to me like, yo, tell your man I said what's up. They're going to reach out to him. Yeah. And it's different rules for guys. Guys won't even play themselves like that. Thank God. Y'all know thank God y'all are on point. But girls, they do a lot of weird ish. And I can't, I'm too naive and nice and invite women in. No woman has been in my house for 10 years now. Because now I've grown up to be like, no, I'm going to care about what's around me. And if I am not going to do this to somebody, they shouldn't feel as though they can do that to me and my man.
You're right.
So,
but like I said, we're at an era now where people are they just feel inclined and they entitled. This is the most entitled. And like, it's Gen Z that's on it like that. But however, the Gen Z attitude I'm seeing trickle back to like people in my era, like Gen X people. We supposed to know better, man. We the best generation for a reason. Like all of that truth you felt from Cat and all that, like that's us. Like that's the energy that we produce. We were the last generation to create a musical genre that encapsulated everything else in the world. We created that, not Eminem, not Everlast, not House of Pain, not even the Beastie Boys, because the Beastie Boys' whole first album was written by Run DMC. Not Rick Rubin. A lot of them beats that he created and shit like that was already being created, was already being done by other people. Shout out to Tila Rock and them. And we gotta stop creating a revisionist history because everybody's being sponsored and endorsed by Balenciaga or any other these baby eating alleged baby eating type clothes and inspired by straight Satanists. It's not it's not untrue that a lot of the people involved with that have questionable material on their Instagrams and stuff like that concerning children and violence and murder and sacrifice. Like, there's no coincidence that these things keep being in themes in music. Like, you can watch different artists start off one way and then the next thing you know what I mean, Stan Smith in a nice church suit and all of that, next thing you know, he's literally dancing with Satan, like he's Satan. Like, so you gotta stop with the willful ignorance and acting like we're not seeing and experiencing the erosion of the country. Like when you read the book Fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? You would see that the things that are happening now are basically happening on schedule. You know what I mean? However, there's still an element of this experience that we are all still willing to experience. Therefore, the end is not yet. And as much as these niggas want us to always try to confine and bring things to an end, we gotta understand that time never was when man was not. If ever there was a time that was, a time would end, and surely be a time that time would end. And so we're constantly trying to adapt our common sense to the bullshit that they keep trying to throw at our way, and it's now reached a level where you can't deny it anymore. You're evil. You see, you're either evil or you're good. You're with somebody who wants to see
everybody win.
Everybody win. That's a winner. And everybody that lose, be a loser. And let's be cool with that. Like, people need to be okay with losing again, or appearing like they don't have it all together, because you don't. We don't. You have it enough together to maintain what you have in your life based upon what you worked and strive to get and have. Because the Creator help those who help themselves. But if you sitting there waiting on rain, while we waiting on rain and all of that, these niggas is in the lab making it rain. Literally. They're literally doing the things that we was literally doing, that now people want to act like it's like special, like, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it just creates a circumstance where people gotta understand that the things that you work to do and the things that you work to create, those things have a certain immortality to them. Things that can outlast you, that can help or entertain or educate or heal or inspire somebody to do something. Like, that's what the whole shit was about. That's why we grew up in an era where you couldn't bite somebody's stuff. You couldn't just remake somebody's song. You couldn't just rap over somebody's beat. You couldn't do none of that shit. But they had to phase out all of the real gangsters that was in rap. They had to phase out the era that Islam ran hip-hop. People don't even realize that. There was a whole era, the Islamic hip-hop era, with Nation of Islams, Nuwapian Islamic Hebrews, Moors, Kemites was ruling hip-hop. Ruling it. But, you know, they want to talk about the Jay-Z era. Like that ever existed. It never existed. It was always something on the peripheral that was able to encroach more, that the real niggas got sucked out the game. The more real niggas get sucked out the game, the more the French Montanas and these types of niggas can actually come in and thrive. Because a bacteria can't exist in a healthy body, a healthy host. It's not going to be able to exist in there. So they got to break you down. They got to get you to eat the GMO food and the crickets and the worms and all the other shit they want to convince you is woke and helping the environment, when the carbon is supposed to be up. We're supposed to have high carbon levels, because the higher the carbon levels, the bigger shit will grow. But they don't want to do that, because they're also not telling us that the carbon footprint that they want to reduce is our feet. They want to get rid of us. We're the carbon that they want the footprint to leave from. Yeah, let's start to close this out. This is
because I'm trying not to ever cut them off, but when we see like 58, 59 minutes, trying to just be aware of the time.
For those people who haven't gone on yet and subscribed or got on, please, let's make it happen. Please do so. Please support your boy. We worked real hard. Myself, Brother David, big up to him. We worked real hard to get this up.
That's your app, right?
Yeah, this is our app. It's the A-Dot app. You want to check that out. It's real dope. I'm upgrading it almost every day now. It's going to be more expansive, so it's going to be stuff on there. So definitely want to check that out.
I'm working on that for like 2 years. Congratulations.
Thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
It's
I'm
really
watching him
fire.
work on it, like, every day.
I'm able to talk directly to you guys now and have a more direct communication with my products and my stuff, so that way I'm not on all these other platforms being banned and shadow banned and all of that. They finally gonna let me up to 50,000 views after what? Almost 10 years. Almost 10 years on YouTube.
Yeah, because you were on YouTube before Amor was born. Amor is 15, so that's like 16 years.
Yeah. So after that, now they finally gonna try to let your boy up to 50,000 views. So again, when I tell you they got a shadow ban on my joint, you gotta understand they do.
But you don't do it, you know.
But real quick, I want you also. This is finally ready. I'm gonna do a whole little video on it real quick, but I just wanted to show everybody. This is the Dark Scope 418. It's a full wraparound cover. You know what I'm saying? It's full hardcover. You know what I mean? It's real dope. You know what I'm saying?
And you've been working on that for like,
yeah, for a minute.
and just to transfer the black and white to all color.
Yes, to the
and to
color.
also expand the
It was a
story.
whole mission, y'all. But finally, it's finally ready. So that's gonna be up soon as well. I'm gonna have that on the joint available as well. Purchase through the app, as well as you know, you can hit me up on the email houseofbella@hotmail.com. So definitely look out for that. I'm gonna do a whole video specifically on this and our plans for the entertainment ventures in terms of the comics and, you know, the toys and the merch and stuff. So we're gonna build on that. And then we wanted to let you know.
So sweet. What I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna stop this video because I never even want to waste people's time. If I do this, it's gonna run into like 10 minutes. He's like, do it. You told me to do it. All right, this is the shampoo. This is Aqua shampoo real quick. And again, thank you guys, because I was gonna do this before the video, and this is why he was like, nah, let's shoot a video real quick and put the products in it. Then after that, you put them in envelopes. This is to wash your hair. It's also, you can use it on your body. It's all of that good stuff.
See, I got the blue joint. It's like the color of the pineal gland. So that's why I really like this.
This is the blue rice hairspray. This, as well as the cherry curl juice, are very good detanglers as well as conditioners. And also, for some reason, a lot of people with locks don't wash their hair every week. I've discovered and found out. I don't know how y'all are living like that without washing your hair. I wash my hair sometimes twice, 3 times a week, just based on if I go someplace and it picks up a little dust. And just, you know, working out. You want to wash your hair, keep your scalp really clean. But the detanglers and the leave-in conditioners, those two are really dope.
Word.
This is the Virgo body wash. Again, everything is pH balanced, gel-based, and it's not made with any water or any glycerin. Not to diss people that use water and glycerin and a whole bunch of other fragrances. There is no red color that doesn't exist in life. So when I see certain people with body washes and asking me how come this is making me itch, it's not to deter you from supporting other businesses, but really look at the ingredients. There is nothing called color red.
Color red is red number 5, and that's a Nuremberg chemical, yo.
This is the
same shit they was putting in the Auschwitz and Dachau. This is hibiscus herbal hair oil.
He don't have on his glasses. This is the hippie hair oil, very, very concentrated in pomegranate hibiscus. This is the pineapple turmeric face lotion, as well as the body salve. It's real dope if you have discolorations, just little spots, hyperpigmentation. Strawberry spots, really dope. That's the J Jam. J Jam is also the bilberry jam. Those are the hair conditioners. They're really made amazingly scented with like spearmint, also with like frankincense, myrrh. The bilberry jump offs.
This is the Libra. A lot of niggas in the industries is Libras. That's why they be getting caught up in a lot of social situations that they really shouldn't be in. But that ain't got nothing to do with that. Y'all still is in that system. Y'all really need to get this to help clean y'all up.
Libra has helichrysum in it. All the body washes have
helichrysum. You know, this is some real shit.
Are herbal infused. That one's the grapefruit and chamomile that has actual chamomile in it as well. Chamomile is really calming for eczema. It's great for skin calmness. And just really, again, balancing, like if you have a lot of like bumps around your elbow, stuff like that. But it's really great for kids and babies. The chamomile is really calming.
This is real good. This is the Shungai EMF protection.
So
this is real good.
It's like a hand sanitizer, but a lot of people use it on the body because it is made with argan oil, jojoba, a lot of different oils in it as well. We did the J Jam real quick. This is the Aries body wash. The Aries body wash is made with hibiscus, also with mandarin and lang lang. Really dope. You can use it on your vagina, your penis. It's all pH, high litmus, and again, nothing acidic in it, nothing with fragrances, all essential oil blades. This is the musical hairs.
That's
the
the
musical
musical
hairs
hairs. Let me see that.
goes along with the hair magic.
Yeah, if you look.
That was something that inspired me to do.
Look.
That label's the same label as
Right.
the cover of his book.
This is how we ran
that was
integration.
years
We
ago.
trying to be vertically
That was
integrated.
years ago. I created
You know what I'm
this
saying?
label because the musical hairs, that has earphones on one of the musical hairs because it makes your hair kind of sing. Kind of cheesy, but this
It
is like
works.
15 years ago I did that one. This is the cherry face oil. It smells extremely much like cherry without
Word.
any fragrances in it. That was really hard to make, but it's really, really dope for dark under eye circles, especially the coffee bomb as well. The coffee bomb is somewhere in here. This is a larger one of the musical hairs, just so you can see it. This be poppin'. Dew is the
Yes,
daily enriching witch hazel, which is made with non-alcoholic witch hazel, as well as a lot of rose petals, as well as calendula and chamomile. It's really dope because it's got an oil base in it, even though it's like translucent and really beautiful.
It's the hair magic.
The hair magic along with the musical hairs. It's a hair conditioner, a pomade. Somebody wrote me the other day, I'm gonna start reading testimonials, wrote me the other day and was like, this is the ish because it's non-greasy, but you can again use it on all your curls and new growth. Really dope. This is what I was talking about, the Goji Guru and the blue hair pudding. These are just different options. Sometimes people don't like that medicinal rosemary or that medicinal kind of smell, even though that really will help stimulate. This is, again, got a lot of black cumin, seed oil, blue poppy. Poppy seeds are really unheard of because people don't really know how good it is for your hair growth and for your skin. But red poppy, blue poppy, as well as the hair pudding, the Goji Guru. It's got a red base and it's got poppy in it as well. This is the marigold mushroom. It's made with marigold and also 7 different types of mushrooms in there for just your joints, for inflammation, kind of like the turmeric products that I have. Really great for people that are suffering from arthritis. Banana Face Alchemy, really dope for people with discolored skin and also very calming, gentle. It's not going to strip your skin away. Revive is really dope. It's made with peppermint, lang lang, also 6 to 8 different butters. And none of the butters that we're talking about have any shea butter in them. Not to dish shea butter, but when you can do better, you do better. When you can make better, you do better. The OG is onion garlic. The onion garlic is really dope for people with like fungus issues or like
staph infection,
sports related issues, or athlete's foot, things like that.
Baby.
That's really dope. Rosemary's Baby. The Rose Clay Alchemy, another face wash, along with the Kelp Help, along with the Banana Face Alchemy.
Marigold
this is
mushroom.
a bigger one of the marigold mushroom. Everything is from 2 to 8
Lemonade.
to 8 to 16 ounces, just so you have options. I'm trying to run through these mad
You
quick.
did all of these.
Star
anise.
The Star Anise hair oil, again, comes with a trifecta. You have the
That should grow your hair
rosemary.
back.
The Star Anise is dope. It's not very medicinal smelling at all, but anise is really good for dandruff, for hair issues, dry scalp, things of that nature.
Coffee bomb.
The Coffee Bomb, dope. It's an
my
all-time
joint.
favorite.
I like
The
that.
Coffee Bomb, he uses it like every day.
There's
If you have
cancer for
any
the
kidney
cancers.
issues, the Coffee Bomb is also really good for stimulating just like calmness in your eyes.
The
It's got a
Acai
lot of
Cinnabon.
coffee butter. The Acai Cinnabon is also really dope. None of them have shea butter in it. 8 to 10
Did those.
butters is in that.
Did
And
those.
again, this is stuff that I've made for over the past like 15 years now.
Face.
So it's not like something that
Face.
I didn't start it a while ago. The face is great for babies. It has no essential oil in it. It's a little bit thicker. If you have really dry skin in the winter, I'd say face is an ish for your face. And again, Foy is Fountain of Youth. Again, he talked about biting.
Yeah.
I've seen like 6
Like
different
3
companies,
different companies, y'all
use
biting.
Foy or Dew. I didn't think Daily Enriching Witch Hazel would be something that people would copy, but Dew is a definite one. Same thing with Sunkiss. I came out with Sunkiss
Berry
years ago.
strawberry.
And the strawberry comes along with the blueberry as well, the
And
Victory
then
Rose.
Victory Rose.
But you know, the Foy started off with Fountain of Youth. And again, a lot of people have even companies called Fountain of Youth now. And just, you know, just being grateful
biting,
for
yo.
your own creativity and
Biting.
saying, okay, I'm not going to really focus on, you know, sending out cease and desist letters, because then it's going to take away from me producing. And also, it's not that deep. But you do want to be able to say, yeah, I started this. I definitely created
everybody
the
deserves,
term Sunkiss.
everybody under their own vine and fig tree, everybody deserves credit for the shit they do well and the things that they create. Like I said, nobody sat there with me and really wrote this and went through all of the different things that I went through it. Like I said, I'm gonna do a whole video specifically on this after this.
Word.
But we'll get into that. But also on top of that, anybody in New York and LA, you wanna look out for shit. God forbid anything pops off. You wanna look between the 21st and the 22nd of January or Janus, you want to, and if you're in those areas, you want to really keep your head on a swivel. Or if you could be out of there for a little while, you might want to do that. I just feel like the way that they're striving to move this thing into a position, they know that this guy is not going to win. He's not going to win. Also, this is the Chinese year, the dragon, and your boy Trump is a dragon. So I really don't see it going any other way that they really want. So in that, like all children, they're going to try to mess up shit and make shit real, you know, hectic for people in the meantime. So you want to make sure that, you know, you keep your head on a swivel, you really pay attention out there, and, you know, you get done what you need to get done, you know what I'm saying? And, like I said, go ahead.
CordobaOrganics.com. Sometimes I don't even put the say where you can get everything from. CordobaOrganics.com. My niece is getting kind of, what you
look
call
out
it.
for
Sore.
look out for the A.app. Like I said, definitely want to check that. When we're doing the next 222, we'll get into some other stuff as well. But like I said, for the most part, thank you guys for the support. And
thank you for the opportunity. I'm going to throw these in some envelopes and ship them out.
I'm gonna go and start to
tomorrow morning
work on this joint. And
these are from like 2 days ago. Only 2 days made all of that, and some more that's upstairs. But I haven't been done everything, and just keep doubling up. But again, you know, when you're used to just doing certain stuff on your own, you got to take time out to hopefully attract new everything, new opportunities, new
everybody
customers.
that's been supporting us over the years,
so much.
everybody that's been supportive over the last video, like I said, and us striving to do this a little bit more, as well as in our individual stuff. We definitely want to give respect and thanks for that. And yeah, man, anything else, please hit us up, houseofl@hotmail.com, or on YouTube. There's information on there. You could also check out www.gumroad.com. Type Aseer the Ducateers in the chat. The DS418 site will be up soon, but in the meantime, just check the A.app on Google Play and the Apple Store. And definitely, you know, get in there and support your boy. We're striving to create our own version of our own entertainment, you know, literary, cinematic, musical universe, you know what I mean?
Word.
And
a lot of people ask why Cordoba Organics. That's actually my birth name, Cordoba. And yeah, the Moors were big in Cordoba, Spain, before the Castilian Spaniards or people that looked, you know, Spanish. A lot of people are like, oh, and something else we were talking about, just the difference between, you know, being an American here as well. Central America is huge, you know, so there's a lot of black folk in Central America, a lot of Moors in Central America, and again, South America, especially Spain, you know, I would have loved to think, you know, but again, a lot of people, oh, you're not Spain, but yeah, when your name is actually Cordoba or Cordoba, and you actually have ancestry there, it's not to ignore what I've had here,
as well
but,
as we have global
Moors
estates
really did exist
all over the world.
My grandfather, my great grandfather.
That's why y'all all coming over here now, trying to live off of us and trying to shame us at the same time. Well, all of that ends in 2024.
A lot of people don't believe
even
it.
though technically it ain't 2024 until March. But hey, you know what I mean? For those people in the fiscal new year, We want to give respect, and this is our time for the Moors to get what they do, man.
And we do exist in the
We
sense
do
that,
exist still.
people sometimes
still
see
here.
the name and they're like, oh wow, I didn't know. But you know, it's just a
Y'all don't
reminder
wanna
that you
know.
don't always have to look. And
They don't
I think
wanna know.
because there's so much of my ancestors that do come from Spain and Panama, and you know, migrated to Panama after the canal was up and running. You know, it's just real important because a lot of people don't believe that Moors look like us or exist in the
Or
world.
we're already
And
here before everybody else
you
got
don't have
here.
to be from Spain to be a Moor. You don't
No,
have to have
no.
a Spanish last name.
And we don't gotta understand also geographics. So again, if you look at any of my videos, I done already showed you where old Spain is, where old Andalus is, where old Granada is, and that's all right here. So again, we
Florida,
can't always
North
base their
Carolina.
position over the satellite kingdoms we established in foreign lands. That was that, because if those places was popping like that, they wouldn't be going through the birth dearth and everything that they doing now in Spain and Italy and Europe. Their birth rates is plummeting zero.
They're paying people to
They
move
paying
back
people
there.
to live back there. You know what I'm saying? But they still every year still dressing up like Moors, reenacting the whole fall of Granada period. They doing that right now over there right now.
January,
And here we are,
December,
still
January.
alive. We still alive. We still got knowledge of ourselves.
Absolutely.
We still doing what we need to do, and we still doing it
And
together.
thanks to all the sisters that are loyal and don't practice, you know, a bunch of manipulation and skullduggery and just,
Word.
you know, just being deceptive. You know,
Word.
just because you're beautiful doesn't mean that you're owed anything and that you are supposed, all of that, you know, sometimes I'm like, of course I would love this, that, and the third, but I don't harp on that which does not exist, and I don't always look at my glass as half empty or wish to have, you know, friends in my 20s and 30s were great, but now that I'm in my 40s, I'm very grateful to be in such peace and to wake up in such peace with no gossip and no
Word.
envy and no angst
Word. No
and
headache.
no jealousy around me, or nobody trying to, you know, knock on my door with nightgowns and nighties and come out my bathroom half naked because, you know, they trying to throw and flip a threesome. Like, sis, you know, we love you, but you can put your clothes on. And, you know, it's not even to diss, but, you know, I'm very grateful that we never had a
Word.
threesome or we're never with
Word.
other women,
None of these
because
people like that.
just looking at all that's out there right now, you don't want to
All
be
these
with
niggas
somebody
getting
for the
trapped
wrong
up,
reasons
all
or
these
just
niggas getting hemmed up, blackmailed, like
Word.
all of that. Nah, that's not the spirit,
Word.
man. And that's what I'm saying. That's the energy that type of success gets you. And so when you agree to it, when you agree to one instance of evil, you agree to it all. So you gotta just be real, like, close the door on shit and find ways to do what you can do talent-wise to get your stuff out there and do what
even
you
if
need
it
to do.
takes years.
Even
It's
if
the
it
same
takes
thing
years, yo.
Kat was saying, it was like, nah, I like toxic women. And if you don't like, you know, toxic energy, you're not going to have certain energy around you. And I
Nah.
definitely, you know, I
Nah.
don't need to go through that headache in
Nah.
order to know peace. You don't have to
Word.
experience war in order to know how peaceful peace is.
Exactly. You don't
Word.
gotta defile yourself to feel like you have experience in the world. It's a trap. It's
You
a
know,
trap.
and for those that
They're trying
thought,
to
you
deal
know,
with you.
that I even lost my virginity to my high school boyfriend, college boyfriend at 8 years, I didn't. You know, I did not. We did not have sex, thank God, because I waited for somebody that wasn't going to trade me up for somebody in Biggie Smalls' video, and I'm very
Yeah, man.
grateful that I didn't, you know, try to keep him by having sex. You know, at 23, I was a virgin and told him and was like, look, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but I just need to know that you're not gonna leave if it's whack. You know, I might not be good the first 2 times. I don't know that. I know other things, but I don't know penetration through that orifice. And so, you know, I'm very grateful that I waited. Very grateful.
You gotta be there as a man, and you gotta accept the fact that the only way that these women that y'all complain about, or y'all feel like y'all is always being beat down by, whatever, the only way you're gonna be able to heal that is to be with them. You can't run away from what you're dealing with people that's your complexion and think you're gonna get that understanding in people that's not, and then find yourself isolated all the way over there with them, with your beige children and
What was
everything
your
else.
experience? What moon and what
And-
rising do you have?
You talking about me personally, or
Yes.
what do you mean?
Scorpio moon,
Oh,
Scorpio
Scorpio moon,
rising.
Scorpio rising.
Your
Yeah.
first experiences is not to say you didn't have heartbreak, but you definitely have experienced way more
learn
than me.
stuff. Yeah, but at the same token, if I could do it over again and I could go back, like, I wouldn't have been so sexualized, from the time that I did it earlier. Like, if I really had listened, and not, and I think that's just something that we as men are not told. Like, you don't gotta just, by the time you are actually with that woman, and you have sex with that woman for that first time, and you think you'll be a man when you do that, at that moment you realize you're not. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have the control that you think, especially if that's your first time. And if that is your first time, we as men are denied the ability to actually cherish it the way that females or other people are in the traditional sense. Like, because unfortunately a lot of us had our first experiences in manners that may not have been the best, even if they were with the people of our age group at the time. We may not have been mentally ready to deal with that, which explains the culture that we also helped create during those periods. So I think a lot of us, if we could do it over again, would choose to maybe wait. However, when you're then given the ability to grow with someone, you know what I mean, in that hasn't done that, like, it then becomes your responsibility to see what the Creator has given you.
But I'll also say you Scorpio moon, because you haven't had a whole bunch of those experiences since we've been together, and I'm very grateful. But sometimes people are like, well, I'm Scorpio with this and that, so I gotta fuck bitches. It's like, not really. You really don't. Especially if you find someone that, enjoys foreplay and enjoys all the things that make sex more than just penetration.
It is now. It's a weapon now. It's a straight blood. It's a blunt instrument now. So you gotta really protect that. And especially if you say that that's what you want. But don't feel like you just automatically gotta jump on a plane and go there, because I notice when these niggas be talking about, oh, they bitching all about this of women, but it seems to be all the women you take in these different countries, they all seem to be like white women or damn near white women you could get here. When if you go to these places, just like Umar said, like, you go to these places, they got black women in Spain, black women in Italy, black women all over, melanated women, all over in these countries. But yet, you guys overplay them to get the phenotypical people who look Filipino and stuff like that. And they only been looking like that for the past 50 years because they done bleached out their whole line to look the way that they look now, which is what makes them all racist, which is why the Asians be so racist when it comes to us. However, y'all niggas still want to act like, the boule life is the way to be. So until, the white man gets shut down and y'all get revealed to be the ones really, really telling them what to do, then we really have something to talk about. But until then,
be safe.
Be safe.
Enjoy simplicity when
Word.
It does come. And when, opportunities arrive, you don't always have to jump into every hoop.
Yeah, man.
But, again,
be selective, yo.
You might have one learning experience that teaches you, I'm never going to do that again. Mm-hmm. And that's a great lesson. You don't have to sleep with somebody else in order to get over the person that you slept with.
No, you don't. Man.
I think that's one of the craziest things, that when women aren't like men in that regard. A lot of women feel, I sometimes go, wow, with just my one experience with one other person and having lost my virginity and been with him for 20 plus years, I think about people like Brittany Renner, or people like that. I know a woman that I grew up with that tried to be with us, and she had over 150 dudes that she was with. So I always think, like, that's what type of psychology are you entertaining, and what type of dreams do you have? If I only dream about this person, I can't imagine being a Brittany Renner having 35 lovers, probably 39 lovers now.
That's light.
And that is light. That is light. But I say, as a female, like, then your dreams are just filled with over 35 people, because these are all spiritual contracts that you've had with these different men. So how can you even know like know what you're thinking or who you're thinking
they don't
about.
care. Like they don't think beyond the moment. Like
So please,
when you
don't
grow
try
up
to be
in
like
a
these
sheltered
females.
society, they don't got to think about what's gonna happen to them. They just do it and then think about it after. We come from the generation, we think about all that shit first. So that way, God forbid it do happen, we know how to deal with it. They don't have that type of foresight or common reaction to something. They just do it, throw it out there, and then be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I did that." You know, but you're doing that to now like over 1 million people.
And this woman that had like over 850 lovers, Yoruba priestess, always in white, always very pure and clean. But boo, you've had over 150 dudes. Like, what?
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta also understand that sometimes that be like part of their religion, like that. Like
yeah, well, there is no religion that says
get
hoe
power.
out.
They feel
in
like they
order
get
to
power
feel.
by doing that.
And that's
like
an illusion.
Like these Boule niggas.
That's an illusion.
That's
That's
what
an
I'm
illusion.
saying.
Illusion does not equate reality.
Yeah, but like I said,
That doesn't make them feel that they aren't though. Or like the girl that's like, oh, I like having trains run on me because I'm a goddess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know
like,
what school of thought that comes from, other than pimping and hoeing. But
right,
hey,
that's
we could
what it
flip
was
that.
in our
We could
era.
flip that when y'all all wear white going into these spots thinking that you goddesses because you get trains run on you. When in actuality,
right, but see, that's what makes them priestesses to these entities I was talking about in the first shit.
You're right.
Ishtar,
Semiramis. You're right. You're right.
And all of the rest of these
either good or evil.
Daughters of men.
Either good or evil.
That's what I'm saying.
Either light or dark.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So peace out, y'all.
Peace.